Welcome to the Mavens Do It Better podcast. And now, your host, Heather Newman.
Hello, everyone. Here we are again for another Mavens Do It Better podcast, where we interview extraordinary experts who bring a light to the world. And have I got some light for you today, folks? I've got two lovelies here on with me. I've got Sahana and Rachana Gupta on, sisters. Yes. Hi, ladies.
Hello. Hi, Heather. So nice to talk to you after so long.
Absolutely. Nice to talk to you too. So, I met these ladies. Gosh, it's 2 years ago now.
Yes. Yeah. Might even be 3.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Could be. Yeah. And, goodness, yeah, I was on a trip with a friend, Troy Swanson, who works on the Alphabet Club charity, and got to meet your mom, Meena, who is amazing, and in India, and got to meet these two as well. And so they're amazing, y'all. And I wanted to have you meet them and also hear about what they've been doing, because they're both fabulous and doing very cool things in the world. So Sahana, you want to start and tell everybody kind of what you're doing right now?
Sure. So I am studying in New York, and I'm studying at the Fashion Institute of Technology. I'm doing my bachelor's right now. I did graduate from my associate's degree early, so I've moved on to my bachelor's, and I'm doing fashion business management. It's so fun. I think this year I'm gonna have to start specializing, and I'm gonna go into product development. So I've been applying to so many internships and things like that. It's always running, always rolling.
Yeah, that's awesome. Cool. Rachana, how about you?
So I'm Rachana. I am a student at UT Dallas. I'm studying computer science, but I'm really interested in cybersecurity. So it's a lot of self-learning, because they don't really teach that at school. So I've just been learning by myself, looking at different projects that I can work on, and I'm interning at a company, and that's also giving me a lot of exposure to whether I really want to be in this field, or if it's just a phase. So I'm starting to see if I like that, and I'm just so excited to be here. I remember that it was really memorable to have you in India. It was so exciting just to give you guys the tour, and we got henna done, and then the sari draping, and the photo shoots and all of that. Yeah, I just remember we were crying that week because we had so much to do with school, and then you guys came in, and it was so much fun, and it was a nice break. Really, yeah. Yeah.
I know both of you were so busy with school and so many things going on, and dresses and events and everything. It was and so we kind of happened to be in town, and your family really just so beautifully welcomed us into your home and took care of us. And all of us ladies, we went and got henna done on our hands, and you all draped us in saris, and we took all these photos outside their house. So it was an amazing, one of those life moments where you're like, this is amazing. So thank you again for that. And thank your mama too, because she's unbelievable. So it was super cool. So, since then, there's been a lot going on for you, like school for both of you, students and college, and then internships. And then you're also doing some other stuff. I don't know. Should we call that a side hustle, if you will?
Side hustle, yeah. I think that's apt.
Yeah, cool. Will you tell everybody about your side hustle?
Sure. So, being a fashion student, obviously, I knew that I wanted to do something, either get started right now or eventually. But we decided to get into it immediately. It was I guess it lined up perfectly. We had this little event here in Dallas where we had an old sari drive. And from there, we started thinking, we were like, okay, we can do something else with the saris instead of just transferring it around. Maybe we could reuse them and make something else out of them. And so from there, we decided to keep that sustainability item, that theme in our minds, and work from there. And then it was a bit challenging, actually, because at this time I was in New York still, and then my mom and Rachana over here were trying to figure out the statistics and things. It was 5 calls a day, 15 calls a week. It was quite hectic, but we decided to come together and create Silk Sense, which well, it's a menswear business. We decided to do menswear because representation of the menswear industry in fashion is so low. It's like you have 15 women's things and then you have one male like centered like brand or anything like that. So we decided to go with menswear. Um, yeah, so silk, obviously, silk sense, and that was our main theme: sustainability and silk for men. You want
Super
to
cool.
give anything else? Yeah, so one of Sana, I guess you touched on that. So looking at sustainability, we really wanted to, dig deep into what that actually means. So looking at, sustainable materials, where to source the silk from, and then we also have a couple of jute and cotton products as well. So looking at where to get that from in India, and also how to really just build a sustainable supply chain as well. So that included supporting local artisans who've been doing and working in this art for so long. We really wanted to showcase that to the world because that art is really dying out. The traditional hand woven art of India, which has been there for centuries, is really quickly getting replaced by fast fashion trends, and it's really sad to see how it's dying out. So we wanted to make sure, we did our part in showcasing it, and showing people that these art forms exist and they can be so pretty on silk. So we wanted to use that, and when we found that, we were so excited to work with the tailors and create these silk shirts and ties and all of those different products.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember we talked early on when you just were starting out.
Yeah.
We did a session, and I remember one of the things you said was that how many was it? Was it like 17 pieces, individual pieces in a men's shirt when you get it? That's like it's all wasteful. Do you remember this conversation? Like packaging
regarding the fabric?
no packaging like
Oh,
men's
yeah.
shirts like
Yes,
all
yes,
have
yes.
like pins and like all the plastic stuff and all that stuff, right? And I can't remember
Exactly.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was like 12 or 14 pieces or something like that.
Yeah, like 5 pieces to plastic pieces to hold the shirt together and
Yeah.
to keep it looking neat. And then there was a plastic ring along the collar to keep the
Yes.
collar stiff, and then
Right.
plastic inside, plastic outside, plastic everywhere.
Yeah, and all those
So we decided to go with all the pins. Yeah, holding all the shirts together. We decided to go with fabric for most of those things, holding everything together, the packaging. So, not just sustainability with making the shirt, but also with packaging and then sending it out to people. So now we have this beautiful cotton bag, and we just put a shirt inside that, and it's just really simple, gets the job done, and no plastic involved.
Yeah.
And it's reusable. Usually plastic, those tear by the time you're done taking the clothes out of the plastic.
Right.
So the cotton is reusable.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah, people told us they use it as laptop bags, and we thought that was pretty cool.
Oh, wow. That's a great, that's super awesome. Yeah, I remember that definitely from when you were starting and talking through. So, and we talked a lot about just marketing and where to sell and all of that. And I know a little bit because we were, before we got on, everybody, we were talking about Instagram and marketing and all of that. And so right now, tell everybody where this shop is, like what you were looking at, like, where should we put this shop? Should it be a website? Should it be this? Should we use Shopify? Should we blah blah blah? So where did you tell everybody where you ended up?
Okay, so we ended up on Etsy, but then it was a whole process. We actually got like a website made and everything, and then in the end we decided to go with Etsy instead of the website, just because we were starting out and we thought Etsy would give us more traction as opposed to having our own website.
Right.
Yeah, and that was a huge learning process as well, because we thought we were gonna be, in a store. We thought our products were gonna be in a store. And then the pandemic happened and everything just switched online. So it was a huge learning curve for us as well, just researching all of these different shops. And I think the good thing about Etsy is it has a lot of, handcrafted, handmade, personalized gifts that people look for. So we thought it was just a perfect fit for us.
Yeah, because when did you launch for reals? What day or what month?
I think December 2019, right? Well, we didn't launch. We started with our idea and like a little nugget, but
Yeah.
then I think we launched on Etsy like May. Yeah,
May
May
of
of 2020.
2020. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I remember because when we first started, we talked a lot about, you were going to go look and see if you could get placement in stores and the website and everything else. But yeah, I mean, all of a sudden pandemic happens and
Yeah.
everything changes, right? And has the pandemic changed? I know you had your ideas and then you went to Etsy. How has it changed sort of the back end, like sourcing things and getting stuff from people, and so much of it you're doing to support folks in India. How did that affect everything that's going on?
Yeah, it's been actually hard this time when I got to go and meet the tailors and the artisans this last December, and
Right.
it was actually quite eye-opening because from a factory or like this little well, not a factory, like a room of 20 people, like
Mhm.
tailors sitting using their manual machines,
Right.
it got cut down to one person, and that one person is dealing with it from Bangalore, where we usually source it, and the rest of
Mhm.
them are trying to put in their work from wherever they're staying, like their local cities and villages. But
Right.
yeah, like from 20 people just down to one person doing it.
Wow. Yeah, that's a big change. Huh. Wow.
Yeah.
What are you finding are your best sort of marketing vehicles right now? Is it Instagram? Are you making TikToks? I don't know. Like, what's your?
I think for Silk Sense, our audience is a bit older than the TikTok generation, I would say.
Yeah,
So we're not
sure.
on TikTok yet. Maybe if
Yeah,
we make a little bit more youthful products on Silk
right.
Sense, we could go on there. But yeah, we're doing lots of Facebook and Instagram. I think on Facebook, we're a lot more interactive. Like we go onto groups and pages and things like that. And
Mm,
then,
right,
where people promote their own products, something like that, where we also can go and promote our products. So
right.
Facebook is a lot more interactive than Instagram is. That I think that's what I feel about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
we invested in a little amount of Facebook ads and Instagram ads as well, and just constant engagement on our pages as well, posting on our stories. And we noticed that it doesn't always have to be related to our brand. So
Mhm.
on our stories, we've been posting things like sustainable tips in general, or
Right.
some other brands that represent the same ideals, and movies to watch that are related to getting people aware about this process. So it's
Sure.
been a lot more than just Silk Sense. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's like thought leadership, right? It's, that you have something, you made choices about your business that were about it being sustainable and also supporting, artisans and all of that stuff. So like, yeah, so you have lots of things, and I know you both have a lot to say, right? Yeah. So,
Yeah.
right. So why
Yeah.
not? So, but that's a great thing, right? I think at the end of the day, marketing is about storytelling, right? And Silk Sense is you, and you two have a great story, of wanting to do something together. Like, how cool to like run a business with your sister, right?
Yeah, she brings all of the art side, the fashion design side, and I
Yeah,
bring in all of the tech side. Okay, how can we work on the SEO side of things to optimize things? So
right.
I feel it's been a good confluence of our skills.
Yeah, that's super cool. And cybersecurity, huh?
Yeah, that's been interesting, and there's such a big need for that. It's just growing.
Oh
There's
yeah.
so much demand for it, and not a lot of people are getting. I mean, now it's starting to grow, but there's a huge demand and so many areas in it as well. I've just touched the surface of what's there. I'm just working on projects, certifications, trying to get hands on with it as much as I can.
Yeah, that's super cool. I worked for a cybersecurity company for a little while and did mostly on the marketing side, but I found it fascinating. Though, it's such an interesting, and it is true. I think when I was doing it, God, this is like maybe 3 or 4 years ago now, the numbers were staggering of the lack of people who were trained in cybersecurity. It was like 250,000 people like that was like down that are needed in the business. So it's a good field to get into, I think, because of
It is,
that. Yeah,
yes. I feel
yeah.
like the software engineering side of things is now really saturated, really competitive.
Mm,
And yeah, security is a good option if you're interested in technology. And
yeah. I saw this woman speak. I think her handle on Twitter is Tara, Tarah, and she spoke at a conference. And she's a really interesting cybersecurity gal that you should follow if you don't already. But she like put up her wrists, and she had like gotten herself where implants, so like she would like scan different things. Like she was like super interesting, and she loved playing poker. She loves playing poker and stuff. So interesting gal. I'll have to connect you up with her, because I like the things that she posts, and she's part of that. There's a bunch of gals on Twitter with cybersecurity that one of them like is like she's an ethical hacker and goes in and she like takes things down, but she does it for good, right? So yeah, it's kind of interesting. So that's an interesting kind of job for sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm most interested in.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, yeah, hacking into, the company that I'd work for, just to
Yeah.
make sure that they're not
Yeah.
vulnerable to bad
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, no kidding, they're safe. Yeah. Well, and then getting into your degree in fashion, like what do you think, like, so you're looking for internships, like are you like are you designing online? Are you a drawer still, or are you both? I don't know, as far as that goes. Do you do both?
Yeah, so my degree is more business side, so
Okay.
merchandising, marketing, but I do enjoy the drawing aspect of things. So
Mm-hmm.
I did take a few product development classes. So
Mm-hmm.
that uses a lot of Photoshop, Illustrator, and CAD and things like that. So yeah, I do enjoy. I've been enjoying playing with Photoshop, not so much hand drawing, but
Yeah.
Photoshop has been fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's super cool. I have a friend that's in the fashion business who is also in technology with me. So she's an interesting hybrid kind of you both. Her name is Donna Sakar. I'm gonna have to introduce you to her. She's really she helped me get my new job at Microsoft, actually. She
Oh,
was the one
okay.
that she was like, you need to come back here. And I was like, okay. But yeah, but she has a fashion company called Prima Donna, and they do all of their sourcing of their fabrics, sustainable fabrics and stuff from, I believe, from Africa. So, and she's been
Okay.
doing that for a few years now. So I'll have to turn you on to her stuff too. Super interesting. And she's also a coder.
Oh,
So
that's fun.
yeah. So and she's a Michigan gal like me. So kind of fun. But yeah. So for you two, so being in college, I'm trying to think of, like, I've talked to a few people, but being in college through the pandemic, how has that been?
Um, well, I think we've just decided to push through it. We
Yeah.
both did summer classes. Usually during the
uh,
summer, we'd be like running around outside and going to different places, hanging out with people.
sure.
But I think we just decided to push through with it in the summer. So, well, I'm graduating a whole year early now.
Oh
But
wow.
yeah, I think she has a lot more intensive courses. So
Right.
she's taking her time with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't like it that much. I felt I kind of got demotivated in the
Hmm.
middle, just
Yeah.
watching videos, and it was a lot of self-studying, and I felt like I was disconnected completely. And there was, tutoring that they have online, but I felt like I didn't really benefit as much as I could have if it, since it wasn't in person. But yeah, it's been a learning process, I guess, for all of us with everything just shifting online. And yeah, it kind
Yeah.
of got annoying staring at a laptop like 10 hours a day.
Tell me about it. Yeah, no. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's been, yeah, it's hard. I feel like people are very, we're all the working from home or school from home, all of it, that, it's hard to have that, connection to people.
Connection, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other, I guess, through what you both have been doing, I know, what are sort of you said there was learning curves, like what have been some big lessons for you? So if you were saying, if you saw another pair of sisters who were going to create a side hustle business while they were in college, what would each of you say is your number one thing to, like, oh my goodness, make sure you do this?
I would say when you're learning, just don't stick to just learning. You eventually have to act on that as well.
Mhm.
And I do find that sometimes I'm just learning and I think, okay, that's a good tip. I'm going to work on it later. And then I never work on it later.
uh
So, one tip I would suggest is either if you have time, then just do it, then finish it off. Don't think about it again. And if you don't have time then, or you're doing something else, write it down so that way, you have that list, and that list will hold you accountable, and you make sure that you do it and complete it.
I like that one. That's good. Yeah. Don't let things go. How about you, Sana?
Well, I think I used to be a really like how do you say, like one way person. I would just stick to something that I'm good at and go with it. But then I realized with this business, like before the business, I was not computer tech savvy whatsoever. And like I didn't know how to go about using Photoshop or Illustrator. I didn't know any of that. And I like decided to expand on my skill set, I would say. So trying to like do blog writing to get things going for Silk Sense, and then trying to like even with my school stuff, like I had to use so much Photoshop, and I just think it helped me be better at doing what I was doing instead of just okay, I'm in fashion, I'm gonna just draw like on a piece of paper, the shirt that I want to make. But then it was more like going online, and then yeah, I even sat down with her to do the SEO stuff. So I have like I've expanded my skill set so much from before. So I think that's what's important, to like know and practice lots of things and not just stick to one thing.
Yeah. No, I agree. Be a learn it all, right?
Yeah.
But also put it into practice, right? For sure. Yeah. No, that's cool. I like that. Yeah, I feel like with anything, and especially right now, it's like computer skills are so big, and they're going to continue to be big. They've always been big, but I think now when we're especially, away, and if that's what you were going to do, running a business, it's kind of like, all right, do you want to pay somebody else to do it? Or do you want to learn how to do it yourself? Right. And what are the things that you don't like doing and that you could pay somebody for and you should pay somebody to do, like bookkeeping. There are great people who do great bookkeeping. They should be doing bookkeeping. I shouldn't be doing bookkeeping or whatever,
I love bookkeeping.
Yeah, well, great. You know what I mean? And right now in where you are with the business, that makes sense, right? But, business keeps growing. You're doing other things, you graduate, something else, maybe there's a time for a bookkeeper, right? I don't know,
Yeah.
Hold on. Well, let's talk about, will you wind back for everybody? So tell everybody where you're from and where you grew up and all of that too. Origin story, if you will.
Yeah. Go for it. I think we've had a really interesting upbringing. We were born here, and I think 3 years after living here, we moved back to India. With our parents took us back, and we they wanted to make sure that we were surrounded by family, cousins, grandma, and everyone over there. So our culture, yeah. So they wanted us to grow up with the Indian culture, and it was a lot of fun because every summer we would just go to our grandma's house and just hang out there with all of our cousins. And in India, it's just such a diverse, beautiful country, and as we've grown up, we've seen both sides of the rich and the poor. There's a lot of developing that's happening over there, and there's still a lot of poverty over there. So we were exposed to that. We worked really closely with a lot of underprivileged children. We're really passionate about education with these underprivileged children. Our mom introduced us to these amazing nonprofits who work with educating underprivileged children and just helping them out in any way possible. So just learning from that showed us how fortunate we were, and also how we can give back to the needy. So having that upbringing, I felt like there's so much we can do to help this world. And for a long time, for me, I struggled with what I could offer to the world because I didn't really know what skills I had. So with all of this background that I had, it took me a while to just ponder and think about what I could offer. And so far, I've just been, doing the little things I can to help around and do my part.
Yeah, awesome. So how about you?
Yeah, I mean, to go off of what she said, I think we've had a really lucky upbringing. We've had somewhat of an international upbringing as well. We've traveled and we used to go to an international school. So, being in India with the Indian culture, but also being exposed to like the Western world, I feel like that has given us a much more like a whole holistic upbringing.
Yep.
So yeah, just going off of what she said, like giving back and teaching what we've learned.
Yeah, absolutely. That's super cool. Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know, I'm super influenced by my family, my parents, and I got to, mine wasn't quite as international as yours, but, I moved like 6 times growing up as a kid. So it definitely made me kind of an extrovert, and liking all that sort of thing. So yeah, it's cool. And the exposure to, all of those nonprofits and your mom and having her being such a force of nature around education, it doesn't surprise me that that's something that, you two are both passionate about as well. That's super cool. Yeah. Well, if, as far as, so Silk Sense, everybody, for our listeners, so it's menswear and you do shirts and you do bow ties. Yeah.
Bow ties
Tell everybody tell everybody what you do there. Yeah.
Okay, so we use mulberry silk and brocade. Those are our staple fabrics that we use in all of our products.
Mhm.
So the shirts are made with 100% pure mulberry silk, and it's a beautiful fabric to have on your skin. It's soft to touch, hypoallergenic. So, it's all good stuff.
Yep.
And we use the brocade, which obviously we wanted to bring in our Indian culture into it. So it's like beautiful gold embroidered threads that are going through the silk fabric. And for the shirts, we have them on the collar and on the cuffs just to add a little bit of a touch to them.
Yep.
And also on the button placket. So it's like a subtle, when the fabric shifts around, that's when you see it. So it's like it gives it a little bit of a dynamic, and I love that for it.
Yeah.
And we also have the ties, which are fully brocade. So those are like fancy occasion ties. So we have the bow tie, we have a pocket square, and then we have the necktie. So that's all made with the brocade fabric. Some of them have silver threads, and some of them have gold. So it's like really beautiful to have on.
Yeah.
I think we had a groom buy it and wear it for his wedding. It was so fun. Yeah.
Yay, that's so cool. Yeah. I know that's another interesting thing about like connecting, like, I don't know Etsy well enough. I mean, I buy stuff from Etsy, but I don't know, like, do you find that it has is it a community feel Etsy, like between designers and shops, or is it really you just put your stuff up there?
I don't think there's much of a communication between the shops, but there is definitely interaction with the customer. Like they'll message you. Like Etsy has a messaging platform, they can message you about any questions that they have or any of the products that they want, like if it's in color or in stock. So we did have somewhat of a bond with one of our customers. She was interested in getting So for our spring collection, we released it new this Feb, and we have half sleeves. And it was mostly inspired by this one woman who desperately wanted half sleeve shirts. But then we had our fall collection, fall winter, which was full sleeves. And she was like, please let me know when you have the half sleeve collection going. So we had her in mind when we made the new spring summer collection.
Okay, that's great. Yeah. Well, customer feedback being put into the product. How awesome. Yeah, that's so cool. That is great. Oh my goodness. So spring collection just came out in February then, yeah?
Yes.
Okay,
spring,
fabulous.
Summer.
Spring, summer.
And they're all such fun pastel light colors, and it's the colors of 2021. So it was really fun designing it and getting it out there. And like this time, for the last time, we didn't really both of us didn't have much interaction in the sourcing process because we were over here and my mom was over there. But then this time we were both there, so we had our research stations on, and we were like, okay, Fashion Snoop says this, WGSN says this, and so we got all of the information, and then we had the whole fabric selection process. It was so fun.
That sounds so cool. Wow. Yeah. And there's something to seeing where things are sourced, right? And how important that is for sustainability and for helping with pulling people out of poverty too, right? It's like giving back to the community that you're a part of, and then also bringing your culture to the world, right? So you too, so fun. Super good. I love it. And I loved your guidance. Is there anything that you would tell everybody just absolutely do not do? How about that one?
Not an absolute, but I
Okay.
think these days people get too focused on goals and they're like, okay, I have to achieve these goals.
Yeah.
If I don't, then I'm just gonna give up, or they have that mindset where goals just become everything.
Mm.
And what I found really helpful is, instead of looking at goals, look at habits that you can build over time, that is a journey itself, and you just build that sustainably over time, and then if you do that, then the goals just come naturally. So
Yeah.
don't think goals are everything is what I would say.
All right. Sahana, how about you?
I would say don't say no, because I know before, if I was asked to do something that I wasn't sure I would be able to do it, I knew I would just say no.
Right.
But this time, I think I've grown a lot in that I try and learn new things. So, have you heard of Fiverr?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I am on Fiverr as a seller, and I have so many gigs that I've put on, and one of them was logo design. And for Silk Sense, at the time of creating the logo for Silk Sense, I didn't know what to do with logo design, so we outsourced it, and I really wish we hadn't done that, because now I've made so many logos. I've gotten about 5 to 6 gigs from Fiverr, and I've made them so many different logos. So I shouldn't have said no to making the Silk Sense logo, because now I know how to make them, and I probably would have, given some more thought, some more feeling into making the Silk Sense logo than, whoever made it for us did.
Right. Well, you never know. You can always do an upgrade.
Time to rebrand.
Yeah, maybe rebrand, right? Yeah. That's great. Thank you both. Well, I think we're getting to the end of our time. You are both a delight, of course. And how about I ask you my last question? You both can answer that one. Yeah?
Sure.
Sounds good. Okay. So like we said before, if you wanted to share with our listeners a spark moment that really seats you and who you are today, person, place, thing, book, all that kind of stuff, what would you like to share? And either one of you can go first.
I think we both unanimously agree that it's our mom. Yeah, you've met her, how she is. Throughout our lives, she's just always made sure she pushed us in the right direction. And more than just, giving us guidance and always being there for us, I feel she made that atmosphere, that environment where we felt we were safe, we felt that we could grow. And she's always full of these random crazy ideas that sometimes we're like, no, that's too crazy. But most of the times they work out, and we don't believe in ourselves half the times, but she knows that we can do it. So yeah, it's just her guiding us through life and making sure that we're doing what we can do and meeting our potential.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel the same way. When I was as soon as I came back from New York, I grew so much just because I spent so much time with my mom. And with the pandemic, we were all home. We didn't have anything to do. So she allowed us to grow and expand on our skill sets. And, we spent so much time looking up Photoshop tutorials and things like that. And, she forced us, but it was obviously for our well-being and for our growth, and it was extremely fun, and it was a huge learning process. So
yeah. Shout out to your mom; she's awesome. So
definitely.
Yeah, and it's an interesting thing too. It's like when we think about women and girls, in our society, and you all are I'm probably your mom's age actually. So but thinking about how supported you felt, and that's amazing, because not everybody gets that, right? And so what a gift. And also it's being able to receive that and do something with it too, right? And I think you both are doing that for sure. So it's super fun. I know, it's great. And I could just look at you for days and just, and talk to you forever. And how about what's next in fun, and what are you excited about? How about that?
So for Silk Sense, we're just looking at, we're constantly looking at how we can grow it.
Yeah.
So now we expanded to the women's side as well.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
We are planning accessories for women. So we have purses and clutches, and how we can make that sustainable as well. And also
And also we're paying homage to the person who used our Silk Sense bag as a laptop case. And we are actually going into making laptop cases now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. So cool. Look at that. Again, bringing in the feedback, seeing opportunities. That's super cool, you two. I'm so excited for you. So everybody on the call, listening, we've got, it's on Instagram, it's Silk Sense Fashion. Yeah.
Yes.
Same on Facebook, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And on Etsy as well.
And on Etsy as well. Yeah, where you can actually go buy. So yeah, so those of you, looking for a great gift for the men in your life and maybe a wedding or a fancy thing that's coming up. And I know we're not doing tons of that right now because of the pandemic, but we will again. And also maybe you need to take a nice headshot with a new shirt. How about that? Right. So all kinds of things going on. Oh my gosh. I'm going to say it. I'm so proud of you two. It's so exciting to have been, to hear about this from when it was starting and now to see that you're going. How cool is that? So congratulations.
Thank you so much. It means a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll have to check in again and see how we're doing. And then everybody, you have to go check out what they're doing on Etsy and Instagram and Facebook. And you two are a delight. So, and I love your mom. So what can I say? So
you should come visit when everything's over.
I used to live in Dallas, actually, a long time ago. Do you know the Starbucks at Knox Henderson?
No.
Do you know where Knox Henderson is, right by SMU?
No, you do? I know where SMU is, but I haven't heard of.
Yeah, I opened that Starbucks store.
Oh, fun!
Yeah. When it was, and it was 1993, I think it was, and there wasn't. Yeah, that Starbucks was the first one in Dallas, Texas, and I helped open that. So, point of fact, there you go.
That's fun.
Totally fun. Well, hey, much love and success to you both. It's so great to see you, and thanks for sharing your story with our listeners. Super inspiring. Hey, and well. People probably get it. You're in college. So, you're in your 20s, right? Doing all this good stuff. So y'all, up and comers, doing it. Very exciting. So awesome. Any last words of inspiration for anyone else who's dreaming a dream out there?
Just do it, as Nike says.
I love it. All right, cool. All right. Well, thank you both so much. Appreciate you being on. Thank you so much, you both. So
thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Okay, everybody. That has been another episode of the Mavens Do It Better podcast. And here is to another beautiful day on this big blue spinning sphere. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, ladies.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. The original music on this podcast was created by Jesse Case.